The Philippines is a country of contrasts and wonders, a place where countryside and sea intertwine with a vibrant culture, marked by the resilience of its people and the diversity of its natural beauty. Today, we're going to explore these deep roots and dive into a lifestyle that's simple yet rich in meaning. Get ready to travel with us through a land where nature and culture live in perfect symbiosis. Bohol. Imagine an island where time seems to bend to nature's will, where rolling hills, as if molded by divine hands, coexist with white sandy beaches, tropical forests, and hidden caves. This is Bohol, one of the most enigmatic and enchanting gems of the Philippines. Located in the heart of the Filipino archipelago, Bohol is an invitation to wonder, a living narrative of nature, history, and culture. Flying over the island, the most striking feature is the Chocolate Hills, more than 1,000 symmetrical mounds stretching as far as the eye can see. During the dry season, the vegetation turns brown, giving rise to their delicious nickname. But beneath that beauty lies a geological mystery still not fully understood. Some say they are the remnants of ancient coral reefs, shaped by millions of years of tectonic movements. Others prefer legends, that they're dried tears of a love-struck giant or ancient warriors' tombs. On solid ground, Bohol unfolds in diversity. The beaches of Panglao, with their crystal-clear waters and coral reefs, are a sanctuary for divers and marine life lovers. There, sea turtles swim beside colorful schools of fish, while dolphins play in the waves at sunrise. Bohol's underwater life is among the richest in the world, and its preservation is a top priority for both locals and environmentally conscious visitors. Following the course of the Lobok River, we discover a different pace, a different time. The greenish waters snake through the jungle, bordered by palm trees and small villages where life pulses with the sound of laughter, traditional instruments, and the rhythm of wooden pestles pounding rice. On floating restaurants, tourists savor local cuisine while musicians sing songs about love and longing, old stories and future hopes. It's a spectacle that transcends the visual. It's a full sensory experience. But Bohol is more than natural landscapes. It is also a cradle of history and resistance. In 1565, it was here that Datu Sikatuna sealed a blood pact with Spanish explorer Miguel López de Legazpi, in a brotherhood ritual that is now celebrated as a symbol of diplomacy and friendship. In the heart of Tagbilaran city, this moment is memorialized in monuments and in the collective memory of the Boholano people. El Nido. El Nido, a hidden treasure in the province of Palawan, is one of those places that seem to have escaped from a dream. Upon arrival, visitors are immediately embraced by a quiet enchantment, as if entering a natural sanctuary where time loses its urgency. Limestone mountains rise sharply from turquoise waters, like cathedrals sculpted by wind and rain over millennia. Islands scattered like crumbs of paradise float on the horizon, each one holding its own story, its own secret. The waters, as transparent as liquid crystal, reveal coral reefs, vibrant schools of fish, and an underwater world pulsing in harmony with the sky. El Nido is an invitation to dive, both literally and symbolically. Diving into its secret lagoons or hidden caves nestled between cliffs, one doesn't just enter the ocean, but something deeper, a rare connection with Earth in its purest form. Every stroke unveils silence, beauty, and a peace that's difficult to describe in words. Life in El Nido flows at a different rhythm. Mornings begin with the gentle sound of waves breaking on fine, sandy shores. Brightly painted wooden boats, guided by local fishermen, glide across the sea as if following an ancient choreography. The coastal villages still breathe simplicity. Wooden homes, children playing by the water, kitchens steaming with the aroma of fresh fish and just cooked rice. There is a purity in El Nido that endures. Even with the growing interest from travelers around the world, the essence of the place remains untouched. It's not just a place to visit, it's a place to feel, to slow down, to remember what it means to live in harmony with the elements. The sun that warms without burning, the rain that arrives without rushing, the wind that whispers rather than shouts. The spirit of El Nido is also in its people, soft-spoken, warm-smiled people, people who understand the value of the tide, the full moon, the silence, and the welcome. People who know that true beauty lies in the balance between man and nature, in mutual respect and in gratitude for life's simplest gifts. Camiguin. Camiguin, one of the most mysterious and captivating islands in the Philippines, rests quietly in the Bohol Sea like a hidden gem, almost untouched by time. Known as the island born of fire, Camiguin is a piece of land shaped by volcanoes, embraced by dense forests, framed by serene beaches, and bathed in hot springs and waterfalls that seem to rise from the very soul of the earth. Upon arriving in Camiguin, the first impression is that of a natural sanctuary. Nature here doesn't impose, it embraces. The paths are lined with palm trees, the roads gently wind through rolling hills, and the landscapes shift between the deep green of tropical vegetation and the hypnotic blue of the sea. The horizon is often interrupted by volcanic cones, a constant reminder that the island is alive, quietly pulsing beneath the feet of those who explore it. Camiguin is a place of encounters. Between fire and water, the ancient and the present, the spirit and the body. Its hot springs warm travelers after long hikes, while its cool, crystal-clear waters rejuvenate the senses. Waterfalls cascade in soft veils down moss-covered cliffs. In every corner, there is an invitation to dive in, to reflect, to let go of haste. The island also holds stories, submerged ones, like the old town that sank after a volcanic eruption, where time-worn crosses rise from the sea like silent monuments to nature's power. In the villages, the past is preserved in stone churches, in colorful folk festivals, and in smiles that speak a universal language of kindness and welcome. Camiguin has the gift of being both small and immense. Small, because it can be circled in just a few hours. Immense, because every mile feels like a world of its own. Every deserted beach, every hidden trail, every tree's shadow carries a profound silence, a mystery that invites pause and respect. Life moves slowly here. Its rhythm matches that of the sea and the forest. Mornings begin with birdsong and the first rays of sun touching volcanic peaks. Nights are serene, with waves gently breaking on the shore and stars painting the sky like a sacred tapestry. The people of Camiguin live with simplicity and wisdom. Fishermen cast their nets at dusk, farmers tend the fertile land, and children play freely. There is a sense of community in the air, a kindness that isn't rehearsed, but a natural expression of living in harmony with the world around. Busuanga. Busuanga, the largest island in the Calamian group, rests north of Palawan like a promise of adventure and serenity. It's a place where nature still speaks loudly, where the sea hides shipwrecked secrets, and where green-cloaked mountains seem to touch the sky. The island is a mosaic of landscapes. On one side, tranquil bays where the waters shimmer between shades of emerald and deep blue. On the other, rocky formations and slopes with trails and lookouts offering breathtaking views. Inland grasslands stretch as far as the eye can see, populated by water buffalo and horses that seem to roam freely. Small rivers weave through the valleys, bringing life to villages tucked between hills. Busuanga is also famous for hosting some of the world's best diving spots, thanks to World War II shipwrecks. Japanese ships, now covered in coral and surrounded by colorful fish, rest on the ocean floor like submerged cathedrals. Diving here is like visiting a museum where time has stopped, but life still blossoms. For those who prefer staying above the surface, there are crystal-clear lagoons, quiet estuaries, and mangroves that look like they were painted by an artist. The natural beauty of Busuanga is matched by the simplicity of daily life. Fishing villages live in harmony with the sea. Wooden houses balance on stilts, and the smell of grilled fish mixes with the scent of wildflowers carried by the breeze. Children run along the beach at sunset, while adults chat under the shade of ancient trees. Here, time is measured by the tides and the sunlight, not by clocks. Exploring Busuanga is a journey without hurry. Whether riding a motorcycle along dirt roads or gliding in a canoe through neighboring islands, everything invites contemplation. There are mountains to climb, caves to discover, and viewpoints that offer landscapes straight out of a dream. And even after days spent here, there is always more to see, more to feel. But Busuanga is also a teacher. It teaches about silence, about respect for nature, about the value of what is simple and true. It shows that you don't need much to feel whole, just the sound of waves, a sky full of stars, and a heart open to the beauty that pulses all around. When you leave Busuanga, you don't just take photos. You take the memory of a place where earth, sea, and sky speak to each other, and where, for a brief moment, you become part of that conversation. A place that gently touches the soul and leaves a mark that time cannot erase. Siargao. Famous among surfers from all over the world, yet also revered by those seeking peace and untouched beauty, Siargao is a place where the spirit is set free, the mind slows down, and the soul reconnects with what is most pure. The island breathes with the rhythm of the sea. Its waves, some of the most perfect in all of Asia, are not just a challenge for surfers, they are poetry in motion. Cloud 9, its most iconic surf break, stands like an altar in the middle of the ocean, where the sound of boards slicing through the water blends with the song of the wind. Yet even those who don't surf find in Siargao a kind of dive. into the water, into nature, into themselves. The landscape of Siargao is a celebration of wild simplicity. There are white sand beaches that seem endless. There are palm trees stretching toward the sky like guardians of eternity. There are emerald lagoons hidden among mangroves, where the silence is so deep that every drop of water sounds like a musical note. On clear days, the sky blends with the sea, and on cloudy ones, the island takes on a melancholic beauty, almost cinematic in nature. But Siargao isn't just made of beaches. It's made of people. People who live lightly, who smile with their hearts, who welcome without rush. The villages scattered across the island preserve a peaceful daily life, where bicycles share dirt roads with motorbikes, and local markets sell freshly caught seafood, crisp vegetables, and fragrant rice that perfumes every meal. Life here moves to the rhythm of the sun, the wind, and the tide. Exploring Siargao is a sensory adventure. Walking its trails means hearing the rustling of leaves, smelling the scent of wet earth, and marveling at small details that go unnoticed in big cities. It means visiting neighboring islets like Daku, Naked, and Guyam in a boat ride that feels like a magical crossing through an enchanted archipelago. It means getting lost and found again among coconut groves, natural pools, and hidden cliffs. The connection with nature is constant. The waters are crystal clear, perfect for swimming, diving, or simply floating. The forests invite the mind to rest. Hidden caves surprise with their raw beauty. And the sunsets. Oh, the sunsets. In Siargao, every twilight is a celebration of life's cycle, with colors that dance across the sky as if telling ancient secrets. Siquijor. The island of Siquijor, hidden in the heart of the Philippine archipelago, is one of those rare places where time seems to bend, slow down, and whisper ancient secrets along its white sand shores. Known as the Island of Fire, a name inspired by the fireflies that illuminate its tropical nights, Siquijor transcends the ordinary. Here, nature and mysticism coexist in almost mythical harmony, wrapped in an aura of mystery that blurs the boundaries between the physical and spiritual worlds. Since the Spanish colonial era, Siquijor has carried a reputation as a sanctuary for healers, shamans, and practitioners of ancient rituals. For the locals, this ancestral knowledge is more than belief. It is woven into daily life. But to visitors, the island projects an ethereal magnetism, a silent promise of reconnection with the unexplainable. Arriving in Siquijor feels like a rite of passage. The boat, departing from Dumaguete, cuts across the crystal blue waters of the Bohol Sea, approaching the island like one nears an ancient secret. The pier at Larena reveals at first glance the contrast between the village's calmness and the vast legends that surround its forests. The beaches of Siquijor look hand-painted. San Juan, with its long stretch of golden sand and palm trees gently leaning toward the sea, is more than a leisure destination. It's a scene where silence speaks, where the murmur of the waves mingles with stories whispered by the wind. But it is when venturing inland that the true spirit of Siquijor reveals itself. Cambugahay Falls tumbles in cascades over ancient rocks, creating natural turquoise pools. Children swing from ropes tied to trees, and tourists surrender to the raw beauty of the place. Yet beneath this enchanting surface lies something deeper, echoes of past rituals and a silent reverence for a nature still considered sacred. Farther inland in San Antonio, the presence of traditional healers becomes clear. Known as mananambal, these men and women practice a form of healing that combines herbal medicine, prayers, and incantations. Stories passed among the locals speak of enchantments, love potions, and protection rituals. But beyond folklore, there is a living cultural dimension that endures despite modern times. In Siquijor, the unseen has its place. Trees are greeted, mountains are revered, and waters are respected as portals to other worlds. Mount Mayon. Mount Mayon rises majestically over the landscape of Albay province in the southeastern region of Luzon. Its nearly perfect conical shape is one of the most iconic in the world, drawn with such precise symmetry that it looks as though it was sculpted by ancient gods, but its serene beauty contrasts with a restless temperament. Mayon is not only a geological marvel, it's a powerful reminder of nature's uncontrollable force. Standing at an elevation of 8,077 feet, Mount Mayon is the most active volcano in the Philippines. Its eruptive history spans over 4 centuries, with records that are striking in both frequency and intensity. The land surrounding the volcano is fertile and generous, but lives under constant watch. At any moment, the mountain may awaken. The name Mayon comes from Magayon, which means beautiful in the local Bicol language. The legend behind the name is both tragic and romantic. It tells the tale of Daragang Magayon, a maiden of rare beauty who fell in love with a warrior, but whose love ended in tragedy. From her death, the mountain rose, a silent beauty that holds within its shape the memory of a lost love. The region around Mayon pulses with life. Cities like Legazpi, Daraga, and Tabaco thrive at its base, maintaining a delicate balance between reverence and resilience. Locals live under frequent alerts from volcanology authorities, but also under the shadow of a mountain that nourishes and protects them. Because to them, Mayon is not just a volcano, it is a living entity, guardian of both land and sky. During periods of calm, the volcano attracts tourists from around the world. Its green slopes covered in forests and rice fields are explored through hiking trails and scenic routes. In the Mayon Volcano Natural Park, visitors can walk winding paths, explore volcanic caves, and admire the mesmerizing symmetry of the mountain. Photographers seek the perfect angle at dawn, when the golden sunlight reveals the textures and curves of the crater. But the beauty of Mayon is only one of its aspects. Its destructive power is an inseparable part of its identity. The eruption of 1814 was one of the most devastating in history, burying the city of Cagsawa under lava and ash. What remains today of the old Cagsawa church is its ruined bell tower, standing alone against the sky, a silent witness to a disaster that shaped the region's collective memory. The Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology maintains constant surveillance of Mayon. Monitoring stations record tremors, gas emissions, and temperature changes. Samar Island. Samar Island, the third largest in the Philippines, is a place where nature still sets the rules. A land where wild rivers cut through untouched forests, where caves hide underground worlds, and where the past echoes in the ruins of old Spanish missions. Located in the eastern Visayas region, Samar is divided into 3 provinces: Western Samar, Northern Samar, and Eastern Samar. But these political boundaries say little about the island's deeper identity. Here, what truly matters are the rivers, the mountains, and the stories that shape the relationship between humans and the land. Among these grand landscapes, the Sohoton Cave Natural Park in Basay stands out. A labyrinth of stalactites, limestone formations, and underground rivers that seem to have come from an ancient tale. In Sohoton, time moves slowly. It drips from the damp cave walls, echoes in the rhythmic drops from the ceiling, and vanishes into the invisible currents. Local guides, flashlight in hand and a reverent demeanor, lead visitors through narrow tunnels and hidden chasms. They tell stories that many of these caves were sacred to ancient peoples, places of offerings, rituals, and deep silence. And as you walk through their corridors, you feel something else, a kind of presence that cannot be explained, only accepted. But Sama is not made only of mysterious darkness. It is also a stage of light and color, of vibrant wildlife. On the eastern coast, the Pacific Ocean imposes itself with violent waves and deep seas. It is there, in Borongan and Guyuan, where surfing finds fertile ground. Tall waves, deserted beaches, and an untouched shoreline offer adventurers a rare connection with the sea's power. In contrast, the island's interior shelters dense forests and hidden waterfalls. The Lulugayan waterfall in Kalbiga is one of those hidden gems, a river that spreads into dozens of white arms, descending the rocks like a bridal veil. The sound of the water dominates the environment, interrupted only by the songs of birds that dwell in the high tree canopies. The biodiversity in Sama is astounding. Endemic, fragile, and still little studied. Rare animals such as the Philippine flying lemur and the Philippine eagle still find refuge in the thick forests. It's a constant reminder that the island, despite modern advances, still resists domestication. Twin Lagoon, Coron. In a remote corner of the Palawan archipelago, where the sea blends with the sky in unreal shades of blue, lies one of the Philippines' most mesmerizing secrets, the Twin Lagoon of Coron. Two natural pools intertwined, carved between limestone walls that rise like ancestral fortresses. In this liquid sanctuary, time slows down, silence speaks, and nature expresses itself with almost mystical precision. The Twin Lagoon is a place where fresh water meets salt water, where cold and warm water mix, and where the body dives but the soul emerges transformed. Located on Coron Island, northwest of Palawan, the lagoon is accessible only by boat, a crossing that already announces the sacred character of the destination. The first lagoon welcomes visitors with calm, emerald-colored waters. Surrounded by cliffs covered in tropical vegetation, it is a space that invites contemplation. Boats anchor slowly, and tourists, in almost ceremonial silence, step down to float under the open sky. But it is the second lagoon, hidden behind a narrow opening in the rocks, that holds the true mystery. During low tide, it's possible to swim through the gap or float through it with a life vest. When the tide rises, a wooden ladder helps in crossing over the rocks. The moment of crossing feels like a baptism. On one side, the visible world. On the other, a universe protected by stone walls where absolute silence reigns. Inside the second lagoon, the water temperature changes suddenly, a phenomenon known as a thermocline. The sensation is surreal. Warm areas touch the skin as if heated by invisible hands, while cool currents swirl around in gentle eddies. The water is so clear that one can see the bottom even several feet deep, revealing rocks, corals, and fish that swim with the tranquility of those who dwell in an untouched world. The origin of the lagoons dates back to geological eras of transformation. Coron is part of the ancestral territory of the Calamianes, sacred lands for the Tagbanua people. According to their beliefs, ancient spirits inhabit these bodies of water, invisible guardians of natural harmony. Respect for nature here is not a choice, it is a silent law, a pact between man and environment. San Vicente, Palawan. A land where nature remains nearly untouched, where the horizon seems endless, and where the concept of beauty finds new meanings at every curve of the coastal road. Located between Palawan's most popular destinations, El Nido to the north and Puerto Princesa to the south, San Vicente still retains an atmosphere of serene isolation. Its landscape is a fusion of mountains covered in tropical rainforest, intertwined mangroves, winding rivers, and of course, its most iconic feature, Long Beach. Stretching for approximately 9 1/10 miles of uninterrupted white sand, Long Beach is the longest in the country and one of the largest in Asia. Unlike famous beaches filled with resorts, here silence reigns. It is a vast, pristine space where the sound of waves is sovereign and the sunset feels like a sacred ceremony performed daily by the sky. But San Vicente is much more than a long strip of sand. It is also an archipelago of inner experiences. The village of Port Barton, located on the western side of the municipality, is one of these hidden gems. Surrounded by small islands and coral reefs, it is a launching point for diving with sea turtles, snorkeling in vibrant coral gardens, and boat rides on waters as calm as mirrors. Port Barton attracts travelers in search of authenticity. Without large hotels or heavy infrastructure, it thrives on sustainable tourism, with family-run guest houses, freshly cooked meals, and stories told by candlelight during blackout nights, a refuge for those seeking the essential. Further inland, communities such as New Agutaya and Poblacion preserve the resilient and welcoming spirit of the people of Palawan. Locals live off fishing, agriculture, and increasingly ecotourism. Children walk to school on dirt roads lined with rice fields. Fishermen leave before sunrise, while women take care of the markets, gardens, and homes. The relationship between the people and nature here is one of reciprocity. Nothing is taken without giving something back. No tree is cut without a prayer. One does not enter the forest without asking permission. Respect for the land is part of daily life, an ancestral knowledge that endures, even in the face of modern promises. The forests of San Vicente hide trails that lead to secret waterfalls, natural lookouts, and indigenous communities that preserve languages, songs, and ways of life that predate colonization. The Palawan people, one of the island's original ethnic groups, still walk barefoot along the paths of their ancestors, harvesting only what is needed, living in harmony with the rhythm of the seasons. Zamboanga. Zamboanga, located at the far southwestern edge of the Philippine archipelago, is a place where cultures intertwine, where colonial history merges with ancestral traditions, and where the sea and the mountains coexist in harmony. Known as the Latin City of Asia, Zamboanga is unique, a corner of the Philippines where Spanish heritage runs deep in the language, the architecture, and the spirit of the city. The soul of Zamboanga pulses in the narrow, colorful streets of its urban center, where centuries-old churches, tree-lined plazas, and vibrant markets coexist in a multicultural mosaic. The Chavacano language, a Spanish-based Creole, echoes through alleyways and everyday conversations, blending Hispanic vocabulary with local rhythm. It's a city that preserves the echo of time in its sounds. By the sea, Fort Pilar rises as a sentinel of history. Built by Spanish colonizers, the fort today is more than a monument. It is a place of devotion, a sanctuary where faith and memory meet. Around it, locals light candles, make promises, and give thanks. Spirituality in Zamboanga is alive and powerful, expressed through churches, mosques, and rituals that bring together Christians, Muslims, and indigenous people in a coexistence of respect and identity. Zamboanga's beaches are unexpectedly beautiful. Santa Cruz Island, with its slightly pink sand, is a spectacle of its own. The contrast between the turquoise blue sea and the pinkish shore creates a surreal landscape. Nearby mangroves are home to rare birds, crabs, and a quiet fauna that completes the scenery with subtle life. But Zamboanga is not limited to the coast. The interior of the province is a world apart, filled with tropical forests, mist-covered mountains, and villages where time seems to stand still. The Pasonanca mountain range, with its natural springs and green trails, is a refuge for those seeking peace, cool air, and contemplation. There are hidden waterfalls, traditional farming fields, and indigenous peoples who still proudly and steadfastly uphold their customs. Daily life in Zamboanga is both simple and rich. In the markets, colors mingle with the scent of seafood, tropical fruits, and spices. The people, welcoming and resilient, greet visitors with stories, smiles, and traditional dishes such as curacha, an endemic crab, sati, spicy skewers with peanut sauce, and lokot, a crispy rice dessert. The cuisine is a reflection of the region's cultural diversity, a fusion of Malay, Spanish, indigenous, and Arab flavors. Cebu Island. Cebu Island, located in the heart of the Philippine archipelago, is a place where history, nature, and modern life intertwine in a near magical way. Arriving in Cebu is stepping into a mosaic of experiences. Cebu City, the provincial capital, is a bustling urban center. Modern buildings share space with historic churches like the Basilica del Santo Niño, where worshippers walk in silence, guided by a faith that has lasted through the centuries. Magellan's Cross, a symbol of the beginning of Christianity in the country, rests in a quiet shrine, reminding visitors of the Spanish colonial past that has shaped much of the local culture. But just a short distance from downtown, another Cebu is revealed, an island of breathtaking natural beauty. The beaches that line the coastline are true havens of peace. To the north are serene coves where the sea mirrors the sky, and afternoons stretch out in golden tones. To the south, marine life bursts with color, whale sharks in Oslob, swirling schools of fish in Moalboal, and coral gardens in waters so clear they resemble liquid glass. In the island's interior, time moves slowly. Narrow roads wind through mountains, revealing farmland, quiet villages, and easy smiles from those who live in harmony with the land. In every corner, nature shows its generosity. Waterfalls like Kawasan, where water flows in turquoise layers, secret caves that hold ancient silences, and scenic viewpoints that offer breathtaking views. Everyday life in Cebu is filled with flavors, sounds, and encounters. The markets buzz with the movement of merchants and locals. Traditional dishes such as lechon, roasted pork, are culinary celebrations proudly shared. There are popular festivals with colorful dances and contagious rhythms, especially during Sinulog, the island's most famous festival, which blends devotion and joy in an explosion of culture. Cebu is also a launch point for bigger adventures. Boats depart from its shores to neighboring islands like Bantayan and Malapascua, offering even more silence, beauty, and a deeper connection to the sea. But even within the main island, there is no shortage of paths, mountain trails, bike routes, boat rides through mangroves and hidden estuaries. The soul of Cebu lies in its diversity. It is both urban and rural, historical and modern, wild and welcoming. It's a place where tourists become travelers, and where travelers find more than they expected. They find stories, connections, and meaning. Hundred Islands National Park. Hundred Islands National Park, nestled in the calm waters of Lingayen Gulf, in the province of Pangasinan. There are more than 100 small islands rising from the sea, like gemstones sculpted by time, covered in dense vegetation and surrounded by waters that shimmer in shades of blue and green. It's a place seemingly created for silence, reflection, and reconnecting with nature. Upon arriving at the park, the first sensation is awe. The horizon breaks into small forms that float like solid dreams. Some islands are large enough to host trails and small structures. Others are just rocky outcrops covered with grass, sanctuaries for birds and keepers of legends. Together, they form an archipelago where time slows down and the gaze drifts into vastness. Each island holds a mystery. Some have hidden caves where golden rays of light pierce the darkness. Others feature secret beaches, accessible only at low tide or by a quiet swim. There are natural viewpoints where, from a single spot, one can see dozens of islets dotting the sea like words in a stone poem. And even with such variety, the park seems to speak a single language, that of balance, peace, and harmony between man and nature. There is no rush in Hundred Islands National Park. Exploring it means surrendering to the rhythm of the tides. Simple boats carry visitors from one island to another, as if gliding through a separate world. The salty breeze, the gentle sound of water against rock, and the song of birds create the soundtrack of a journey that is as much spiritual as it is physical. Marine life is vibrant. Coral reefs, colorful fish, and sea urchins inhabit the shallow waters like silent guardians. Snorkeling and diving are not just activities. They are ways to connect with a hidden and fascinating universe where everything moves with grace. Above the water, birds fly between the islands, perch on curved branches, and observe the world with the calm of those who know their place on this planet. The park is also memory. It is preservation. It is respect. It holds the history of a people who recognized the value of their land and chose to protect it. It's a reminder that beauty does not need to be molded, only cared for. That what is natural, when respected, offers everything: peace, shelter, nourishment, and poetry. Visiting 100 Islands National Park is more than a trip. It is a return to the simple, the essential, the things that truly matter. It is an invitation to see the world with more tenderness and to realize that there are still places where the sky kisses the sea without noise, where islands whisper ancient stories, and where the spirit finds rest. When you leave, you don't just take pictures. You take with you the certainty that there are still sanctuaries in the world where nature speaks and man listens. 100 Islands. National Park is one of those rare places, a fragment of eternity between sky and sea. Leyte. Leyte, an island that rests quietly in the heart of the Philippine archipelago, is a place where past and present walk side by side, where the land bears the scars of historic battles and yet flourishes in green serenity. The sea surrounding Leyte is calm and generous, gently washing light-colored beaches and quiet coves that seem crafted for silence. Tiny islets are scattered along the coast like promises of seclusion and untouched beauty. In many areas, the sea becomes a mirror, reflecting the sky, the clouds, and the slow flight of birds. The waters, rich in marine life, offer a direct connection to the island's essence. Inland, the scenery transforms. Tropical vegetation covers gentle hills and steep mountains. Rivers cut through fertile valleys, irrigating fields and sustaining local communities. The sound of waterfalls blends with birdsong and the whisper of wind through the leaves. Leyte is green, it is humid, it is fertile. Every trail leads to discovery. Hidden waterfalls, natural lookouts, and villages that have kept traditions alive for generations. But Leyte also speaks of memory. It was the stage for pivotal moments in world history, especially during World War II, when Allied troops landed on Red Beach in Palau. Today, monuments and memorials honor sacrifice, liberation, and reconstruction. A quiet weight lingers in the air, coexisting with the lightness of daily life. It's as if the island carries a deep respect for what has been, even as it keeps moving forward. Life in Leyte is shaped by simple, sincere gestures. Cities like Tacloban blend the urban with the traditional, with markets full of the aroma of fresh fish, tropical fruits, and local spices. In the communities, hospitality is a deeply rooted value. Children play in plazas and along the riverbanks. Elders share stories beneath the shade of trees. And music, always present, cradles life with tenderness. Spirituality also has deep roots in Leyte. Religious festivals fill the towns with dance, color, and faith. Centuries-old churches stand as timekeepers, their bells marking not just the hours, but the bonds that unite people to the land. Luzon. A place where mountain ranges touch the clouds, where rice terraces create living patterns across valleys, and where dormant or active volcanoes shape the horizon with silent grandeur. It is in Luzon where you'll find Manila, the nation's capital, a vibrant, chaotic, and energetic metropolis. Crowded streets, bustling markets, historic churches, and skyscrapers coexist in an urban dance that pulses with the rhythm of millions. But Luzon is far more than its capital. As you leave the city behind, the island reveals its true charm, a tapestry of regions distinct in landscape, dialect, cuisine, and way of life. To the north, the Cordillera Mountains rise like natural fortresses. Here, the rice terraces of Banawe stretch out like hand-carved masterpieces, preserved for generations by indigenous peoples. The air is cool, time slows down, and the earth speaks to those who walk upon it. Communities keep ancient traditions alive with festivals, rituals, and crafts passed down through memory and daily practice. To the west, the beaches of the Ilocos region open to the South China Sea. Golden sands, dramatic cliffs, and colonial towns like Vigan, where cobblestone streets and wooden houses tell stories of the Spanish era. On every corner, the architecture and flavors speak of a past never forgotten. In the central region, volcanoes take center stage. The majestic Mount Mayon, with its near-perfect cone, symbolizes strength and beauty. Tiao Lake, with a volcano nestled within it, offers views that resemble living paintings. Further south lies Mount Pinatubo, whose 1991 eruption marked the nation's history. Now a place of serene crater lakes and hiking trails, a testament to both nature's power and its renewal. Luzon also holds vast rivers, dense forests, and agricultural lands that support much of the country's food production. The Central Plains are home to fields of rice, sugarcane, and corn. Rural life beats strong here, with carts pulled by water buffalo, modest markets, and a deep connection between people and land. Everyday life in Luzon reflects its diversity. In cities, you hear a symphony of languages, see faces from many origins, and taste dishes that blend local, Chinese, Spanish, and American influences. In the countryside, routines follow the rhythm of the seasons, harvests, and village festivals. There is both simplicity and complexity, motion and stillness, modernity and tradition. Religious festivities and celebrations are everywhere. Faith moves crowds, in processions, in festivals with masks and music, and in small daily acts of devotion. Spirituality in Luzon is tangible, something felt in the eyes, in the temples, and on the sacred mountains. Boracay. Boracay, a small island with a name known across the world, is a radiant gem in the calm waters of the Philippine archipelago. Located in the province of Aklan, Boracay is more than a paradise destination. It is a symbol of natural beauty, ecological rebirth, and the celebration of life outdoors. The island doesn't just charm, it captivates, it transforms, it welcomes. At first glance, Boracay looks like it came out of a painting. White sands as fine as talcum powder, hypnotic shades of blue in the sea, and a horizon dotted with traditional sailboats, called paros, gliding softly over the waves. This is a place where the landscape has rhythm, color, and harmony. The famous White Beach, which stretches for several miles like a ribbon of light under the sun, is the island's heart. But Boracay is much more than just one beach. As you explore its surroundings, you'll discover hidden coves, scenic viewpoints, mysterious caves, and trails that lead to places of absolute stillness. Spots like Puka Shell Beach and Iligiligan Beach reveal a quieter Boracay, where the wind speaks with the leaves and time slows even further. The reefs and corals surrounding the island are nurseries of marine life, offering dives that feel like journeys into other worlds. The island is alive. It pulses with the rhythm of its people and its guests, with an energy that renews itself each day. In the morning, the sound of waves and the smell of the sea dominate the senses. By midday, the tropical sun casts a golden hue over every corner. At night, the beach becomes a stage for music, dancing, and celebration, all with a relaxed joy that is uniquely Filipino. But Boracay also carries a story of renewal. After years of unregulated growth, the island underwent a period of closure, recovery, and reinvention. Today, it stands as an example of sustainable tourism, with rules designed to protect its beauty and ensure that paradise remains untouched. Nature has responded and is now more vibrant than ever. The local people, proud of their homeland, are an essential part of the experience. With genuine smiles and warm hospitality, they share stories, offer local delicacies, and reveal the secrets of an island that, while famous, still holds hidden wonders for those who take the time to look closely. The artisan markets, the seafood dishes, the small community celebrations, everything here carries soul and authenticity.